Something you said in the book that I think would be helpful also to sort out is that there's a difference between poly orientation
Yeah.
and lifestyle. So, can you say a little bit more about that?
Yeah. And so this is what, again, through the grounded theory approach, just listening to thousands of hours of people describing themselves and their experience. And then once I put this out there, getting the feedback from people that they did feel this way. And so some people really describe polyamory or non monogamy, whether it's sexual or romantic, as an orientation. They say, this is how I'm wired. This is who I am. I don't even feel like I'm choosing this. It's just me. I'm not going to argue with that. Why would I? Then there's other folks that are like, yeah, I could go either way, right? I'm happy to play for a while in this direction or experiment there. Or I was non monogamous for a few years. Now I'm monogamous. It feels like a choice that they can move in and out of depending on life situations or partners. And then on the other end, you hear people who are monogamous, and it's not just the cultural societal conditioning. They're like, this is who I am. I could not be with more than one person. Like, it's just not possible.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I see it as a spectrum. And some people, it is more of a choice or more of a philosophy that they align with, and that's why they do it. And other people, it's definitely feels like their orientation.
Yep.
And I knew a
And
woman, though, I love how she said it. She said years before she was solo polyamorous. And
so, solo polyamorous means,
yeah, so solo polyamory is when you don't usually couple up and have, like, I have a primary partner and we live together, we share finances. It's more living like you're your own primary partner. You're identified first as a solo autonomous being who then has partners. And those people, though, the misconception is that solo poly folks are like avoidant and non-committal. That's not the case at all. They might be very involved and invested with folks, but they don't do the assumption that we're going to live together, we're going to have finances together, we're going to do family together. All of that is negotiated, not assumed. Yeah.
I love that. And my experience with it has been the boundary work that has to happen to be
Oh,
able
yeah.
to be able to navigate this.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think there's a couple out there in any form or individual even that couldn't benefit from some of the work that happens in this in the
Yeah.
area of boundaries.
There's so much work around communication, knowing myself, knowing my needs and my preferences, being able to negotiate that in non triggered, reactive, defensive ways. Like, these are all capacities and skills. And then being able to do boundary work. Yeah. So there's a whole skill set. And I'm talking about this in my next book, that people open up and they don't realize, oh no, the skill sets I use to be healthy or functional in monogamy aren't actually sufficient. And I have to up level my skills. It's a joke, calendaring, like how to manage multiple dates and relationships. Like, you have to know how to do your calendar. You're going to get into trouble fast. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. And just with the boundary work, again, I think so. One of the points that you make in the book is around that we talk a lot about secure functioning
Yeah.
and what is secure functioning. And I think the point that you made that if it's systematic, if it's because that you're married and you have a shared bank account, and so then you don't have to worry and you really believe your partner's never going to leave you, and we call that security.
Yeah.
So then in that sort of more protected space, we don't have to develop these muscles,
Yeah. Exactly.
these skills. And so we end up, I think, in the absence of that, then it's exposed all the things that we don't know how to do.
Exactly. And I make that distinction of a lot of people in monogamy, they rely on the structure for secure attachment. And it's not that you can't, we do get some security or a lot of security from structural aspects of a relationship. But I want people to really be creating their secure attachment through their emotional experience together, their relational experience, not the shared bank account, the fact of legal marriage, or owning a home together.
So I think there's many people right now cringing a little bit. Oh wait, there's more, especially right now during the stress that is we've been under for a couple of years. I think couples are really stressed, and we all are. The kids are, the teachers are, everybody is. And my hope would be bringing in some of these skills to learn and really focusing less on the structure and more on your personal experience. And it does go right then to trauma and attachment in my mind, because why am I okay with not having that
Right.
secure experience? Maybe I think that's all that I am supposed to have, or those sorts of things. And you mentioned the avoidant, people thinking if you're your own partner that you're avoidant or those things. Let's talk about the research related to attachment.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
what is actually true versus what
Yeah.
we might think is true?
So there's a parallel. I think it was in the 80s. There was this study around cholesterol that came out, and it was like, cholesterol is bad. And then you look at the study, and it was they fed rabbits like meat that don't eat meat, right? It was like something like that. And you're like, we can't conclude this for humans, that therefore cholesterol is bad. So there's a similar problem that's occurred, that initial studies around attachment asked monogamous people if they were open to the idea of non-monogamy. And it just so happened that the people who had the more dismissive attachment style were the ones that were more likely to say, I would consider non-monogamy. So what do you think the takeaway was?
Absolutely.
Therefore,
Therefore,
right,
people who practice non-monogamy are dismissive or basically
right.
are insecurely attached.
Yeah, exactly. And that is not the case at all. So there's only been like a handful of actual studies though, and they're all survey data, but they've done several thousand folks. And they've looked at people who were non-monogamous and polyamorous or swinging. And it's great. They show that in many cases, there's absolutely no difference in the attachment styles of people practicing monogamy or non-monogamy. And in some cases, the people practicing polyamory were actually a little bit more securely attached.
Which makes perfect sense in the sense what we were just talking about, right?
Exactly. To really do this on an ongoing basis, you do need to be more secure in yourself and your relationships. Yeah. So far, the data does not confirm that non-monogamous folks practicing it are any more or less insecurely attached, which is great.